Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating guest. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I'm a 15-year-old youth advocate from San Jose, California, and I'm also the co-founder and executive director of Mind4Youth, which is one of the largest youth-led mental health nonprofits in the world. So for a little background on what Mind4Youth is a 501c3 nonprofit with the mission of providing accessible mental health resources to underserved youth, and we do that through our various programs and initiatives. The main reason I started Mind4Youth is last year, the same year I founded the organization, someone I knew unfortunately passed away to suicide. And so every year, mental health becomes a bigger concern, and the lack of accessible mental health resources and services serves as an incredibly big obstacle that prevents many youth from getting the help that they need. So my purpose behind starting Mind4Youth involved speaking up for those who didn't have a voice and being able to help them in every way I could. And so for me, this sparked my motivation and passion behind Mind4Youth. And I always believe for any advocate, it's very important to know what your purpose is behind your service or any kind of passion project, because that's what gives you the motivation to continue working for what you care about and also take it a step further. And also for me personally, since I'm especially passionate about Mind4Youth, it doesn't feel like extra work because it's something I genuinely love and enjoy putting my time and effort into. And so if I also had to give advice to other youth for when it comes to taking action through either starting a nonprofit or another sort of initiative, in my experience, identifying an unmet need in my community and finding a unique way to solve it is one of the most important first steps, but I know from experience that it was one of the most difficult for us. So for like Mind4Youth, for example, I already knew the issue that I wanted to support from the beginning, which was youth mental health, but trying to come up with unique solutions and ways to solve it was one of the most difficult parts of the process, because trying to solve such a widespread issue is really complex. But I realized that sometimes the best way to come up with a solution that works is to simply ask the people that you're trying to help and find out what they really need. So what we did, me and my co-founder Aishwarya, we asked kids who came from an underserved school that didn't have a lot of access to mental health resources and services in their school. And so we asked them what kind of support that they might need. And a lot of them told us that therapy would be a great option, but for them it was too expensive and it wasn't in their budget. So for Mind4Youth, we started a program called Heart Care, and through that, we gave mental health kits that were completely free of cost to other youth who also came from underfunded schools or maybe were in homeless shelters or just in marginalized communities. And in these mental health kits, it contained items to promote well-being, such as coloring books, and we also partnered with BetterHelp to offer free mental health therapy. So we included a voucher for that in our mental health kits, and it also came with other small items like slime and other fun collaborative activities that they could enjoy with other people. And so through promoting well-being, we were really hoping to make an impact in their lives and make it clear that mental health is something that's really important and that youth should prioritize. And we didn't want accessibility to serve as a barrier for them. we also started other programs. So another aspect of our organization was educational. So a lot of youth also don't have access to mental health education, especially outside of the United States. Not a lot of schools either teach it in their curriculum. And so what Aishwarya and I did is that we created a mental health curriculum that was completely online and also free of cost. And so through this, we covered various areas around mental health, such as mental illnesses, disorders, how to manage your own stress and anxiety. And through that, we were hoping to teach other youth about like how widespread mental health is and also how big of an issue it is. So at the end of the program, youth were also able to take action and initiative in their own communities by completing something like a final project. And so many youth in the past have also started their own Mind4You chapters or interviewed somebody that they found interesting and worked in the mental health field. So those are just a couple of examples of what youth have done. And so to this day, we have over 9,700 members and volunteers in over 40 countries for Mind4Youth. And we've also raised almost $200,000 through our grants and partnering with organizations and businesses like the United Nations, BetterHelp, Costco, and Kendra Scott. And we've also started 16 Mind4You chapters around the world and have been able to reach more than 1.1 million youth around the world today. And so we also have a lot of different opportunities on our website. Our main goal is to really inspire other youth to take action in their community. And we want to be a platform that has those kinds of opportunities for you to be able to do so. So in addition to our volunteering program, we do also have other open volunteering activities that is just like a one-time event. So for example, for our heart care program with the mental health kits, we want to encourage youth to come together in their community and build these mental health kits so then they could distribute them through to like underfunded places, like I said. And so our main goal with the heart care program now is to donate almost 250 kits. We're on track for 250 by the end of June, and about like September, we're hoping to reach 1,000, which is a big goal. But I think also kind of setting big goals is the main way that you're going to be able to reach them, because it gives you a target and it gives you the motivation to work towards something. Yeah, mental health has been a really big part of my life. And so one day I heard that someone from our local school, another school that I didn't necessarily go to, but I heard that they suicided and they passed away really quickly. And it happened before I even knew it, or I didn't even get a chance to really speak to them. It was someone who passed away by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. A lot of people might have heard his story in the Bay Area, but that definitely sparked my kind of awareness that mental health is such a big issue, especially from where I grew up. Like things like competition and getting into college is such a big stressor, and I know how many youth are impacted by it. And also personally, that has kind of affected my own mental health. So I've been constantly dealing with extra stress and pressure, and having those kinds of personal like emotions and feelings involved with it has also inspired me to take action and stand up for others as well.
So you are very, very goal oriented and driven to achieve some really big and amazing things. It's amazing what you've done at such a young age. So as a young entrepreneur and social activist, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, so one challenge has definitely been taking criticism, I would say, as a youth on some of the projects and initiatives I've been working on. But I've learned to look at it in a different way. I don't look at criticism now negatively. I look at it as a growth opportunity for a way for me to learn and grow from that kind of feedback. And so rather than trying to look away from criticism, it's something I look forward to now, because I've learned that that's the only way that I'm going to grow and get better, and also increase how much impact and people I'm able to help with my work. And a second problem I would definitely say has been being a youth activist. Because of my age, I do have quite fewer experiences, I would say, working in this kind of a field. But also, many people, such as organizations and businesses, have been kind of more aware of whether they want to work with an organization that is completely led by youth. And so we've struggled a bit in terms of partnerships in working with other mainly adult run businesses. But I think getting past that, because we've been able to get established more now and kind of show that we are a legitimate organization and have been able to impact and help many people, more businesses and organizations are actually looking forward to working with us.
That's wonderful. Now, Mind4Youth has reached over 1 million youth in 40 countries, you said. Can you share some of the most impactful stories, moments that have resulted from your work?
Yeah. I would say one of our biggest platforms that we've been able to reach many youth is from social media. And so that in terms of creating content, we've also given youth the opportunity to learn how to make content on Instagram and videos to engage and reach with more youth around the world. And one story is that I've worked with somebody from one of our Mind4You chapters in Fremont, and I've worked with him one-on-one to get the chapter started. And I've also learned about how mental health in their area was a big issue. And so through working together, we were able to really find a solution to helping other people in that community and making mental health something that's more aware around people there, and also destigmatizing mental health in their school.
That's really good. You created a virtual mental health curriculum to address the lack of mental health education globally. Can you tell us more about this curriculum and its impact on youth?
Yeah, so our curriculum has 6 total modules, or it's also separated by 6 weeks. And so for week 1 to week 5, we basically give youth the opportunity to go through different worksheets or activities that are related to mental health. And so one week they might go over the main concepts related to mental health illnesses and disorders. The second week they might learn how to manage their own stress and anxiety. And then the third week might be something like trying to identify those symptoms and how to be able to help others. So like helping others manage their own conditions, and also learning to just be a supportive person and help others, like their friends or their family members who are in those situations. And so the volunteering program is mainly meant to be educational and teach youth around the world who don't have access to an educational program or curriculum like this. And our main goal is to reach youth who haven't been as exposed to mental health in the past. And yeah, and then at the end of the program, like I said, we have a final project. And so through this project, it's basically where youth are able to take initiative in their own communities. And this could be, again, like starting their own chapter or club. But we also do encourage shorter term projects, such as one person had interviewed somebody who was really well known in the mental health industry and field. And another person had also written an article and a blog on mental health that was published on our website. So it's really a learning experience and a growth opportunity for them as well.
That's fantastic. Your latest program, Healthcare, involves creating mental health kits for underserved children. What inspired this initiative, and what's included in these kits?
Yeah, so what inspired our program or to start it was because we wanted to find a way to give free resources to youth, but we didn't exactly, it was kind of hard in terms of brainstorming ways to give these items as a whole, because we could have either decided like to distribute coloring books by themselves or individually, but we wanted to create a whole concise package that would include various different items, because we want to also give youth the option to kind of have a variety of different options and items available to them. And so through that, we decided that creating something like a kit or a box would be the best option in order to solve that kind of an issue.
You're really making it easy for the youth to get access to all of your services. So far you've raised almost 200,000 and received donation items. What strategies have you found to be most effective in fundraising and in gathering support for your cause?
Yeah, so since we were newly established just last year, our biggest strategy was just cold emailing and cold outreaching to various different businesses and organizations in our community because since we were new, we didn't have previous contacts or connections with anyone. So it was a difficult first step to go ahead and establish those connections and relationships. But once we were able to and manage those relationships with other businesses, it really led to a lasting kind of thing where they would consistently keep giving us product donations and funds to keep our initiatives running. And we've also continuously been reaching out to different partners like hospitals and libraries to see how we can work with them to get more involved with helping youth in their areas.
So you've partnered with major organizations like the UN, Kendra Scott, and Costco. How have these partnerships enhanced the impact of Mind4Youth?
A lot of our businesses like Costco and Kendra Scott, for example, the Kendra Scott Foundation, have given us resources and in-kind donations, such as Kendra Scott gives us free items that we could use in our auctions when we hold fundraising activities or events. And so they have a lot of the organizations and businesses have been supporting us continuously through providing us with either in-kind or monetary funds. And these funds eventually help us fund our initiatives and programs to be able to not only grow but also keep scaling these programs to reach more youth. And so as we've also partnered with Raising Canes, who have been able to provide us with like an incredibly generous amount. And so that's the only way we've been really able to make our heart care program possible and donate 250 kits. But as we keep reaching out to different organizations and acquiring more funding, by September, that's what makes our goal possible to donate 1,000 kits.
As a leader of a youth-led nonprofit, how do you motivate and manage such a large and diverse group of volunteers and members?
I definitely cannot do all of it alone. And so I really appreciate and acknowledge the work of also our executive board and our team that I do help lead. A lot of them specialize in one certain area. For example, one would work specifically in recruitment and working with other volunteers, and then another person might work specifically on social media and marketing. And so it's really a group and collective effort in general, but in the beginning when I did have to kind of manage all of it as one, like all of it at the same time when we weren't as established, it was definitely very difficult. But I think after kind of realizing that if I want to grow Mind4Youth and be able to scale it, I'm going to need help from other teens and youth. And so I started to kind of go away from being afraid to ask for help. And I really started reaching out to more youth in my community to see if that would be something they're interested in getting involved in.
So what are your future goals for Mind4Youth, and how do you plan to expand its reach and impact even further?
So one of my main goals is to definitely continue growing our heart care program and our educational program. So for our educational one, like our volunteering program, we want to keep promoting it to youth around the world through things like social media to be able to get more youth participants and involved so we can also help educate them. And we also want to be able to start donating more heart care kits to countries across the world. So apart from just scaling our current initiatives, we also do want to try introducing new programs to our nonprofit, such as we haven't completely determined what yet is our future like goal or direction for another project that we do want to implement, but it would definitely relate to something that fits with our mission and aligns with it to provide free and accessible resources and also continue educating other youth on mental health.
So what advice would you give to other young people who are passionate about making a difference but may not know where to start?
Yeah, definitely taking the first step is one of the most difficult parts, but I really encourage other youth to keep working for what they're passionate about and never give up because as a youth, I know how many setbacks there were when I was just starting out, especially. But what kept me going was how much I really loved advocating for mental health and how much I was passionate about it. So even if you are facing failures, I would constantly keep reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing, and also I always think about the amount of people I've been able to help so far and how I want to keep doing that, and that's what pushes me and motivates me to keep working.
I want to just go back to the beginning and flesh out in detail the story behind the motivation why you started this organization. You skimmed on it very, very quickly. Give us the details of the incident, the event that got you to put this amazing organization together. If I can take you back to the past when you were starting this movement, and you could go and have a conversation with the younger you, this young woman who has seen a need, seen a cause that you want to step in and make a difference, based on what you've learned up until this point, if you could go back and give yourself 3 nuggets of wisdom, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
I would say one, keep going, never give up. And especially as a youth, you will face so many different failures and setbacks, but really keep reminding yourself of what you're passionate about and why you're doing this. And the second piece of advice I would give myself is to constantly set goals for what you're doing, because I think that also gives you a target and it guides you in a direction to go. And my third advice would be to try and reach out to others for help more, because I know so many youth are like, now I know so many youth are interested in getting involved with Mind4Youth. And so I would highly, highly suggest talking to other youth in your area and also just working with them and trying to see what their perspectives and what ideas they have, because that's not going to harm you in any way. It's only going to help you grow and become a better advocate to really be able to help other youth and follow your mission and passion more.
Now, in terms of your family support, how big a family do you come from? How have your parents, your siblings stepped in to help you on this journey?
My family has been really supportive my entire journey, especially my dad. For example, if I ever needed to drop off some items at a local library, like one time I was dropping off like almost 100 coloring books to our local city library, he would like keep driving me to different places and to help me with that process, even if it was a place, for example, like I think one place we went to was about 30 minutes away. Yet he was extremely ready to help me and he took me there, and he's always just been incredibly supportive and has helped me also find various different opportunities in my area.
Fantastic. And how many siblings do you have? Are you an only child?
I do have a brother who is in college. He just recently graduated too, actually, from UC Davis.
Fantastic. Now, if I could teleport you into the future to go and meet the 90-year-old you, this old woman who has been guiding you and showing you how to get to that age and do the work that you're doing now, if you could go and have a conversation with the 90-year-old you, what are you going to say to her when you finally meet her? And I'll tell you why I asked this question. A lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already in them. She's that quiet voice that says, do it, just do something to help, or the quiet voice that says, go left, go right. But we don't trust ourselves. We look for the answers outside of ourselves all the time. So, what will you say to this wise woman who's leading you up until this point?
I would definitely ask the older me if I would have any regrets of anything that I missed, because even right now I think I'm very like self-initiative. Like I like to take self-initiative and I'm very passion oriented, but especially for older me, I want to ask myself or learn whether I've been able to accomplish what I wanted to, and how my journey has been, whether it's been rough and I've kept going. And also I want to learn more about kind of what my motivation has been behind it. And yeah, it's a very difficult question, I think, because I mean, when I'm older, definitely I don't want to have a lot of regrets. I want to be able to do everything that I wanted to, and I know how short life is. So especially now, I want to take advantage of all the time I have and really make the best use of all my time.
Well, one of the things that I do personally when I get stuck with things, I go into my prayers and my meditation and I speak to my older self, the person that I am becoming. And I'll ask her questions as simple as, what is the next step? If I get stuck and then the next day I wake up with these light bulb moments and ideas, or I could be talking to somebody about what I'm working on and they come up with a solution for me. But I play with the energy of who I am becoming because she's already in me. She's already guiding me. And I just need to listen to her more to get that clarity. So that's just a nice little tip for you as you go forward on your amazing journey. You are being guided for a reason, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why am I so passionate about this thing? And it's all consuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes up a lot of energy, but there is a reason why you're doing this, because no two people are born with the same desire or passion to make a difference. And as for advocates, there's very few of us out there. It's a gift that was put in your soul long before you came into this world. Your mission is to leave this planet a better place than we found it. So thank you for your work.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome to meet someone so young who gets it at a very young age. A lot of people wait until they're much older and they think, I have to go to college, I have to start working before I can make a difference. But anyone can make a difference at any point in their lives. And you are just an amazing example of that.
Thank you.
I just keep doing what you're doing. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is a platform that brings you the voices and stories of women, young and old, from all over the world. We share our stories to motivate you, energize you, inspire you, and empower you. So tune in again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates, and join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making